training for? It's really awesome to watch a world champion train for a world championship, and that's what K-Man's doing. One of the really important things that he does train for is training other people to become world champions, and a really important part of the K-Mac martial arts club now is training children to be able to defend themselves, to protect themselves. And sadly, we live in a world where a child has to learn how to protect itself. Would that be a fair statement? We're bombarded every day with information about children that are sex trafficked, yuck, that are kidnapped, that are bullied, that are abused, whether it's by their own family or by somebody else. And our kids have to learn how to defend themselves. I'm not a parent, so I'm very careful about talking about having children, but we have now a martial arts school where we have children as young as 4 and 5 coming to learn how to defend themselves. And what's really exciting about that is I think it would be very difficult for somebody to kidnap any of our K-Mac little dragons or tiny dragons. These kids know how to poke people in the eye, they know how to break fingers, they know how to kick in the right places, and it would be very difficult to steal them, to kidnap them, to abuse them. Wouldn't it be nice to have children who can defend themselves and protect themselves? But isn't it, and I'll rephrase, would it be more important for parents to have that skill so that they set the living example for their children? It's really great to see kids learning how to defend themselves, protect themselves, and to fight. One of the really important things that gets taught at K-Man's Martial Arts Club is the most important thing you need to be able to do is run. That's the first option. Be so fit and so strong that you can sprint away from whatever threat is attacking you, trying to hurt you, trying to harm you. But sometimes you get caught. You might be stuck in a corner, somebody's picked you up, somebody's kidnapped you, somebody's trying to hurt you, and you can't run. So that's when you poke somebody in the eye, you break fingers, you kick them in the right spots, and then you run. You don't stay and fight somebody that's bigger than you, but you do everything you possibly can to hurt that person that's trying to hurt you, and then you run. Now, the other beautiful thing that gets taught at the Martial Arts Club, of course, is that you don't bully, and the fact that you can learn or you've learned how to fight, you've learned how to defend yourself, you know how to hurt somebody, means you never have to hurt somebody. Bullies in a playground at school, or bullies in the world in general, only pick on weak people. So the fact that you've learnt how to fight, you know how to defend yourself, it means it's very unlikely that you ever will have to, because nobody's going to pick on you because you're tough and strong and powerful, and bullies only pick on weak people. I wish I didn't have to. I wish that I never had to talk about kids needing to defend themselves. But every day, and I live in the beautiful little tiny country of New Zealand, and we've got an enormous increase in crime, we've got an increase in child abuse, we've got an increase in horrible things happening to people. And I don't know why people do that to each other. I don't even want to comprehend why. But what I do know is that we need to be aware that there are horrible people in the world, and that's the philosophy of life that I always use. There's always going to be bad people, and there's always going to be bad people doing bad things. But the world only becomes a bad place when good people do nothing. So if you want to protect your children, if you want to make sure that your children are safe, if you want to make sure that your children can protect themselves, would it be a really good idea to be the parent that is fit and strong and mentally tough and can defend yourself? We have a lot of people that come to the martial arts school, adults, that say, I want to be able to defend my family. If somebody tries to hurt my family, I want to know what to do. And that's the beautiful thing about martial arts. There are so many techniques, and K-Man's one of the best teachers in the world for this. There's so many things that you can do to make sure that somebody doesn't hurt you, and it's one of those stories that I tell all the time because it was just a personal experience that happened to me. Somebody tried to steal my handbag. I'm an old lady, I had high heel shoes on, and they tried to steal my bag. Well, the person that tried to steal my bag came out worse for wear. They got a really good punch in the throat, they got a really good punch in the testicles, and they ran off squealing because they thought they could pick on an old lady wearing high heel shoes. And that's the beautiful thing about knowing that you can defend yourself. That person thought that I couldn't, but I could. And in that situation, I didn't have an opportunity to run. I actually had to fight. Another example I use, I had just started at high school, and I had a group of girls in the locker room that pushed me into a corner. And that's another example where you can't run. I had a group of very tough, mean-looking girls surrounding me. I don't know what would have happened in that situation. All I know is that the girl that threw a punch at me first, she telegraphed her punch. I could see it coming. So I couldn't run in that situation, so I punched back and I hit as hard as I possibly could, and then I ran because I shocked her so much that I hit back. what I do want to share with you is that I never had to fight again. And I didn't fight, I just gave one good strong punch. But those girls now knew that Rowie's not the girl to attack. She's not weak. She's a strong, powerful girl who will defend herself. I wish that was never the case, but unfortunately we live in a world where you may have to defend yourself. I hope you never do. But if you do, wouldn't it be good to have the skills to be able to say to yourself, I can handle this situation, and do it with power and strength and mental toughness. That's what I wish for everybody, and that's why it's so awesome to watch K-Man train, because he's a world champion and he can train you to be a world champion, and he can train your kids to defend themselves and protect themselves, and I love it. Woohoo!